Our Lincoln Technique guy is coming. Let's get you guys caught up to speed on what it is we're bringing this guy on to talk about. I really don't even know how this is gonna go. I'm never nervous on this fucking stream. I'm nervous. All right, the Pencil Sharpener is his name. He has 109,000 nearly followers on TikTok at this point.
Quite often, mainly because I personally don't recommend them. I like the longer shaft on the pencil. I just think it's more pleasing visually, in my opinion. So as with all of the pencils, we start by whittling away. Now you'll notice the strokes on this one are a lot shorter than the ones that we do.
Okay, but see, here's the thing, chap.
Tell me.
It's his entire page.
Yep.
When you go to his like link tree,
Yep.
it's his YouTube. He
Yep.
has a mailing plate. Like you can, I know it's fake, right? I watched a bunch of this guy's video in preparation. It's real. It's real, but I'm scared to acknowledge that it's real because I'm just waiting for him to go, gotcha, stupid. Wubby's such an idiot. He fell for it. I'm actually going to read some DMs with him real quick. This was fucked up. He's got me by the absolute balls right now. So I get put in a DM with him and he says, hey, thanks for connecting me. And I send him a GIF that just says, don't believe his lies. That's what I send in response because I'm trying to open the door that this is kind of lighthearted. Motherfucker responds to it with an emote of a pencil. Either brother is on his game straight up in character or there's no character and he's being genuine. I have to reveal this because it had me, I was dying. But again, I don't know. So I was like, hey man, we were going back and forth. And I'm like, so like, is this a bit? I refuse to accept that it's real. And he's talking to me about it. And I'm like, okay, so you're saying this is a character? And he goes, no. It's not a character. I've been sharpening pencils since high school, man. And I didn't tell him this, but that shit got me laughing at my desk for 5 minutes because I went, same? In fact, I think I got you beat. I think I got you beat by like 5 years. But also at the same time, if this man is serious, I'm not trying to laugh at him being like, why are you? I don't know. Either way, we're not gonna press him and make a confession. I just want to get to know him briefly. He said, let's do this. Oh boy, here we go. Here we go. Oh my God. Hold on. Are you ready to be on stream? Can I cut to you?
Yeah, I am so nervous, man. I'm going to be completely honest with you, but let's do this.
I'm nervous. Why are you nervous?
Yeah, I saw you say that, and I was like, well, I'm glad that we're, both nervous together then.
I'm freaking out. So you can just, but we're good. It's good. I like that we're both nervous. It makes, it makes it a little more chill. All right. Well, hello, the Pencil Sharpener. Is that how I should greet you?
Yeah, you can call me the Pencil Sharpener. Some of my friends call me Sharps. Either one's good.
Okay. And I want to start out by saying, if you've been watching stream or you watched the video where I talked about you, none of my questions, and even if you hear me laughing, I'm not meaning to insult you, but
no, I don't understand it that way. No, I totally get it. Listen, and this is part of the reason why I reached out to you. You were never mean-spirited with the things you were saying. And that was why I was like, hey, this guy is legitimately interested in this. The fact that it took me like a month and a half to even realize that you had covered these videos, the fact that no one in your community was coming in my comments and being like, oh, hey, saying mean things. I was like, okay, so clearly this is not something I have to worry about reaching out and he's going to, call me names or whatever. So I am so excited to do this.
No, they're pretty well behaved, especially when we find someone that seems to like, no matter what it is you're doing, whether it be a bit or real, right? It's also not mean-spirited, so my community would be... They're all putting hugs in chat. I don't know if you have chat up, not to freak you out.
No, I don't. I'm going to be honest. I'm watching the Discord screen right now.
That's good. That's fine. Whatever.
That way I can stay away from the numbers, because I know, I got to be honest with you all. This whole thing blowing up was nothing I could have ever expected.
You mean like your profile on TikTok?
Yeah, I mean, listen, my first video was March 28th, and the first video I posted, I think I had like 15,000 views after I posted it, and for me, I'm like, oh my gosh, there's so many people watching me sharpen pencils, that's amazing. And then I made the second video, the Lincoln Technique video, and then all of a sudden, I mean, it started off, kind of slow, and then it just, wham! I mean, I was logging in with like just notification after notification. I had to turn notifications on my phone off. It was insane. And I think that video is now at like 6.9 million views or something like that. And I gained 50,000 followers with that one video. It was bonkers. And then, you know, I kind of figured, oh, this is, you know, a one-time thing. And I continue making this content, you know, showing my love of, you know, sharpening pencils to everyone. And it just keeps going. And then to see, you know, I found your video because I was doing a deep dive on Eberhard Faber. I don't know if you guys watched my most recent video, but I don't know if any of you guys have seen Mike from Oddities or the TV show Oddities on Discovery Channel. Well, Mike is the main guy. He has an antique shop and he sends me pencils and I sharpen them. And so I was doing research for that. 100%. Yeah. You can ask Mike. You can check my comments of that video. Yeah. So he sent me some pencils, Dash 519 pencils. So I was doing some research on it. And just so you guys know, because this is another thing you said, you can't really find a lot of information about pencil sharpening, artisanal pencil sharpening on the web. Try looking up anything about pencils on the web. There is a massive blank space of information. I mean, when I was doing this video about Eberhard Faber pencils, they tell you when it was, literally, this is all the information I could find. They tell you the year it was founded. They tell you a little bit about the guy who's founded it. This was like in the 1800s. And then they're like, in 1979, it got sold to another company. And you're like, what?
That's crazy.
Where's all this information? Where's all this information? So it doesn't surprise me that not a lot of people know about this art form.
Right. Okay. So you mentioned you uploaded a video, the Lincoln Technique videos where things blew up for you. Why did you start uploading these videos in the first place?
Oh, you know, that's a great question. And like, the answer may not be a fun answer, but to be blatantly honest with you, I had been really upset about the state of things in the United States. I was really depressed. I was having a hard time kind of getting through the days, and I have this love of pencil sharpening, and I thought, you know what, this is the thing that's so soothing to me. At the end of my day, because that's another thing I see a lot of the comments, people are like, get a job. I have a full-time job, guys. This is very much a hobby that I turned into a side gig. So I come home from work, I sharpen pencils, and I was like, it's soothing to me. I wonder if it'd be soothing to anyone else, because I don't know what side of TikTok you're on, but I watch a lot of videos where like people are like shaving soap.
Yeah, I get those
people
too.
are doing things like that. And so I thought, hey, maybe some people might like to watch me sharpen pencils. And that's where that kind of began. And then again, it exploded, and I had literally no clue why it was so popular.
Well, I'll speak because you popped up on my For You page, and I can answer only for myself. That the Lincoln Technique video was the first one that showed up on my For You page, probably with a lot of people. And I was interested in it in the same way I saw a lot of the top comments on that video, which is it seems like a really dedicated character and troll. Especially with the is it interesting? Especially with the Lincoln Technique, because again, you kind of touched on it already, but like you search Lincoln Technique on Google, and the only thing I'm able to find is your video. So I think a lot of people, I think even now, a lot of people, as much as they love you, they're still like, I guess I'll lean into it as well, even though I can't tell.
No, I mean, I totally understand that. I mean, listen, I understand, and other artisanal pencil sharpeners, they understand the kind of absurdity.
What do you mean other artisanal?
There are other ones. I'm not the only one out there. I mean, obviously, I know watching your videos, you guys watch David Rees. David Rees, of course, he is an interesting fellow. He's actually a little bit controversial in the world of artisan pencils. He even addresses that in his book. I don't know if you guys, I'm sure you saw it, and I know this is the book by David Rees, How to Sharpen Pencils. This is not me, just so it's clear. This is not me for everyone in the chat. That was funny when you guys were like analyzing my hands.
Different hands.
Absolutely. Different hands. David Rees and we actually disagree on a lot of things when it comes to pencil sharpening. He has multiple chapters. He actually talks about, because this is why I don't understand. Artisanal pencil sharpening for me is about blade to wood, right? It's about creating this handcrafted hand sharpened pencil. And you'll notice if we go into his book, he will show, of course, he's got, he uses a blade, a knife, a pocket knife, when I prefer a blade, because again, you are kind of closer to the wood, to the graphite.
Right.
But he also has a bunch of chapters that, include pencil sharpeners. Even like basic pencil sharpeners, like this Stadler sharpener that I use for the video. And I don't know, for me, that just comes across strange to be, talking about sharpening pencils the artisanal way and then using a tool that, is subpar. That's
right. I mean, even I can tell you that that's junk up there. I wouldn't want to put my pencil in there.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, another thing you mentioned is that you thought I was writing really softly with the pencil I sharpened and not soft with this. I can tell you that's not the case.
Oh, yeah.
Listen, something I see all the time is people are like, oh, you put it to paper, it's going to break. I can't guarantee that it won't break, but what I can guarantee you is that if you sharpen a pencil using an electric sharpener, any other type of sharpener, it will break 9 out of 10 times more often than an artisanally sharpened pencil. And I do have for my clients a money back guarantee, or if their pencil breaks within the first minute of using it, or even within the first couple minutes. I have a really good relationship with my clients. I
want to touch on that.
Oh, yeah.
But before we get, I have a lot of questions about your clients.
Yeah,
but I want to.
Totally.
But first about the book. What's his name? David? Or was
David
that his
Rees,
name?
yeah.
David Rees. So I'm just going to ask you bluntly: do you treat that book like it is real and you've read through it and you've referenced that book as well?
Okay, so let me tell you, to answer this question correctly, I have to tell you how I started sharpening pencils. Okay,
Please.
Okay, so when I was in high school, I was taking a film class, and one of our assignment for the day in that class was to go on Vimeo and find a short film on Vimeo that we thought was good. And this is where I watched his video, How to Sharpen Pencils, which I saw you guys watched on.
We found it as well. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, obviously, that video is extremely over the top, right? I mean, even in his book, he talks about, the nice thing about pencil sharpening is that you can get started for under $1,000. And so, yes, his book is very satirical. But the thing with his book is that while there's a lot of funny stuff in it, while there's in his video as well, as much as funny there is funny stuff in it, there's also a bit of sincerity in it. And it's that sincerity that really drove through to me. And so I was like, I think I'm going to start doing this. So I started doing it in the way that he mentioned it, using like a pocket knife or whatever. It kind of faded away. I did it for a little bit. I was like, okay, well, that was whatever. Well, then come my senior year of high school, I get put in an art class, and I am terrible at art. I'm so bad at art. And so my teacher told me, hey, you know what? If you just sharpen everyone's pencils, colored pencils, instead of doing art, I'll give you an A in the class. And that's what I did for the entire class. And that's when I fell in love with it. I mean, I started doing all these different kind of, methods and practicing, that's when I found the razor blade, right?
Wait, were you bringing razor blades? Sorry, you were bringing razor blades to school to sharpen color?
It was art class, so they were supplied by the teacher. So I couldn't get in trouble for that. That was his thing. That is how I started my love of pencil sharpening, and I sharpened pencils throughout college. And I had artist friends, and that's who I would sharpen pencils for. And they told me, "Hey, you're really good at this," and I'm like, "I'm good at sharpening a pencil? Like, what do you mean?" They're like, No, you are good at this." So I kept sharpening, and through my friends, I had some other artists who would come up to me and be like, hey, can you sharpen our pencils for me? And this is where I kind of started. Now, I know you asked about like David Rees. I understand that a lot of the stuff that he's saying is over the top and funny, but again, I do think there's some sincerity there, which is what made it worked for me and what got me into this craft.
I've spoken with artists just through my chat, and a lot of them are like, yeah, you do sharpen your own pencil for specific things. I even started seeing other people doing specific ways of cutting pencils for specific art. I think where I'm confused still, and where chat is also still wondering how this is actually happening, is all the techniques and all the technique names. I kind of want to talk about that for a little bit. Where is the Lincoln technique from?
So the Lincoln technique, it's named after Abraham Lincoln. I'm sure a lot of you have probably caught up on the fact that a lot of the names are historical. The Conte technique, the La Simone technique, the Washington technique, a lot of them are historical. And that's because back in the early days of artisanal pencil sharpening, they were kind of honoring the people of their time and history, and we continue that method today.
So you're saying that the Lincoln technique is from like originally honoring Abraham Lincoln due to the length of the graphite?
I mean, it's passed down. I mean, so when I say honoring, I guess maybe that's not the best word, because
from who?
Obviously, the Lincoln. It's just passed down through generations of artisan pencil sharpeners.
So did you have like any sort of like sensei or I don't know what you would call it in that field?
Yeah. I had so a lot of, and again, this goes back to the whole like not being able to find a lot on the internet,
right?
Because pencil sharpeners don't typically use a lot of technology.
I would imagine, right?
Yeah, I mean, when we think about the idea of technology, we can even kind of boil that down, and the mechanical pencil, the pen, those are technology. They are tools that have been the pencil, that was a tool that had been evolved to be more efficient and in a way that some people say is better. But what we know with all technology is that when tools get more efficient, that doesn't necessarily mean that the quality follows, right? The quality can sometimes get worse. I mean, look at music, right? A lot of people still really enjoy vinyl music, even though, Wubby, if you asked me to pull up a song and you said, hey, let's listen to this song, I can go on my phone, I can type in that song, and we can have it playing on YouTube or Apple Music or whatever in a couple seconds. Where if I wanted to listen to vinyl, right, I most likely don't have to that vinyl. I have to go to the store. I have to find it. So it's the same kind of thing with pencils, right? And pens. Pencils, not efficient. I mean, and that's me saying this, someone who's, makes, a good amount of money doing this. But there's still a love from people who like to use kind of those original kind of tools because they feel there's still a quality that can't be beat by mechanical pencils or pens.
Where are these? So my original question, where, I guess, to expand on it, where are these people located? Because again, let's say I wanted to learn right now. You appear to be the only source I could find. Like I want to learn the Lincoln technique, but I don't want to learn it from you. Where do you guys congregate? How did you find these things?
It's a great question. It's a lot of just searching. I mean, I have written letters to museums, and because again, there's not a lot of information about pencils on the internet. Trying to find kind of these, I don't want to say masters, but these people who know the craft. Right. And through these different contacts at museums, at libraries, that kind of thing, I have been able to get in contact with some of these people. So yes, I do have someone who helped teach me a little bit. Now again, I started doing this in high school. Right. It wasn't like I was perfect in high school. This was something that through learning through some other people, I was able to get a lot better at.
Is there something to be said that you're not telling us who or where? Is it kind of forbidden lore for the public to say specifically where to learn this?
It's the same exact thing with David Rees. David Rees was seen as controversial. I already know that I'm upsetting some people because it is kind of this kind of quieter community, right?
Well, why would they be upset? Because you're revealing how the magician does it?
No, not necessarily. It's a private community, right? Not like the Illuminati or anything. It's just that this is, again, when we think of technology,
right?
TikTok, it's technology. Right. It's kind of antithetical to a lot of beliefs that artisan pencil sharpeners have. There are not, in fact, I'm trying to think of this. I don't know of very many artisanal pencil sharpeners who are my age. A lot of them are a lot older. I mean, we're talking like 70s, 80s. And so for me, I really think this is a beautiful craft, and I want to share it with people, even if maybe it's a little bit controversial.
Fair. Okay. All right. My chat's calling it the Pencilati, like the Illuminati.
Pencilati. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I really hope they don't hunt me down. That's for sure.
Yeah. I mean, they'll have sharp pencils too, so you got to watch out for that. Okay. So one thing you mentioned earlier, and this is also something I'm very curious about, is your clients. So first, I want to say, when you started your TikTok page, because I imagine now you probably have people like me or like my chat who wants to send you a pencil just to see it happen, right? Just to see you do it for them. But did you have clients when you uploaded your first video? Did you have?
Oh yeah, of course. I mean,
of course.
And to be clear, I have not added any clients since I've started these videos. I have had so many people contact me and be like, hey, I have these pencils there I need sharpened, whether it's through DMs on TikTok, whether it's through my Discord server, whether it's through, my Instagram, or someone even joined my Patreon and was like, hey, I have these like really expensive pencils. I need you to sharpen for me. I do not ship my pencils. I want to make that clear. As of right now, I do not ship pencils because I cannot guarantee what I was telling you about that guarantee. I cannot guarantee that my pencils will be able to withstand the shipping of, FedEx or Amazon or whatever, because there's no way it doesn't weaken the structure.
Well, I was going to ask you about that because I was going to, hold your feet to the fire a little. It's a question I've seen you in the comments, at least not reply to. Everyone's asking, how do you ship them? And I always look and you never respond. So you're saying it's hand delivered only?
As of right now, listen, I'm in Los Angeles. That's not me giving away my location. You guys have seen I have the mailing address. People said, I've had people send me pencils to sharpen. I make it very clear to anyone who sends me pencils, I will not send these back to you, because I've gotten so many shipments of pencils from people since. The Los Angeles area is very diverse with people, with crafts, with lots of artists here, right? Lots of people who are also, a bit well off here. I started off finding my clients mainly through like farmers markets, right? Just having a little booth at a farmers market, and talking to clients. Yeah,
you would have so you would go to farmers markets, like maybe with
just set up a little booth,
and just sharpen pencils on the booth.
Yeah, I would just be there sharpening pencils. A lot of people would come up and then be like, what are you doing? And I'm like, I'm sharpening pencils. And it would always lead to like these really interesting conversations, very much like the conversation we're having right now, where they're at first they're like, are you serious? And I'm like, yeah, I am serious. I'm sharpening pencils for my clients while I'm waiting to meet more clients. I think that's probably the biggest reaction to when someone sees me sharpening a pencil for the first time, artisanally, and knowing I have people who pay for this, they go, huh.
And you're aware of that. You're very aware that people are.
Oh yeah,
I would say most people are confused and think it's a bit. I'll be honest. We've been talking for like 20 minutes now, and I got to be real. Every time you talk, I go back and forth.
I understand kind of where people are coming from, but at the same time, you have to like. My family's in town right now because I'm moving. That's why this stream setup is so janky. I literally threw it together last minute. I'm in the process. Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. I'm in the process of actually creating a stream area because that's something I want to start doing. My parents play pickleball on Tubi TV. We were watching the pickleball championship, like California, or I think it was like the nation championship. And to me, that's insane. That's absurd. What the heck?
Are you comparing pickleball to what, like you're saying to you, that was crazy in the same way?
Exactly. To me, that was crazy. But to the people who are competing, to the people who are watching it, they go, oh yeah, this is something we're really excited about. This is something we're really hyped on. And so I kind of I compared that reaction I have, and that's the exact reaction I think that some people have when they see me sharpening pencils.
I want to ask you about your clients, and you don't have to answer this. So please, I'll move right on if you're not comfortable. But I am curious, are you willing to say how many clients you currently have?
Oh, yeah. The thing is it's not a lot of clients. I am looking to bring on more. I actually no, well, I actually and this kind of leans into like what my ultimate goal is. I am really in love with pencil sharpening, and I want to bring it mainstream. I would love to sharpen pencils for like celebrities. I'm a huge movie fan.
Yeah.
And like to sharpen a pencil for like, let's say like Sydney Sweeney would be like the ultimate dream. And so I'm not going to say
hold on. Why Sydney Sweeney specifically? I mean, I'm a big fan too, but
yeah.
Does she strike you as a pencil user?
Yeah, I mean, did you see when she made that car? She put together that car. Did you see that? You should look that up. She put together this. She really likes cars, and I don't know. There's something about like it's a building right from the ground up, and that's essentially similar to what I'm doing. Is I'm taking a pencil from its original shape, and I'm turning it into a tool that can be used, which you could say about a car as well. I mean, she's also very pretty, so there's that. She's got that going too.
True. It would be cool to see her with a fresh Lincoln technique, signing like things, writing things down.
I mean, and this is like massively like grand scheme things. I would love to do like a Hot Ones type of show where I am interviewing celebrities as we both artisanally sharpen a pencil, and then afterwards we keep the celebrity's pencil and like a case, and so we just have like all of these like big celebrities with like artisanally sharpened pencils, and we all know I'm not going to call out your subreddit exactly sharp ones. Yep. I'm not going to call out your subreddit, but I went and looked through some of the pencils that they were sharpening at first, and it's not easy to do. A lot of people say, hey, anyone can do this. It takes a lot of practice.
I'll give you that. No, I did. There were a few people who were killing it, but I would say most of them were. I mean, it was about as bad as I would do. Like it does. There is a technique to it, and I'm not going to take that from you. I want to ask you again about your clients. I won't press you anymore about how many, but is it public how much you charge for this?
Oh, that is such a tough question. I mean, that's and to just put it into kind of context for you, that is like asking you how much a car is, right?
Name a car.
Name a pencil. What would you like me?
Lincoln technique with the I don't know, what do you have on your desk there with the Dixon?
Okay, so the Dixons, listen, something like this, these are mass produced. They're Dixon pencils. They're very simple. The Lincoln technique, if someone's asking for a Lincoln technique, and again, I typically sharpen these in like packs of at least 12. Again, another question people have, what happens when they get dull? Well, I don't just sharpen one pencil at a time. I send these out by 12, 24, up to whatever they need. That way they can then send them back afterwards, and I'll resharpen them for them. So like if someone's just asking me for like 12 Dixon pencils sharpened using the Lincoln technique, that is probably, I mean, if we're doing the Conte, it's typically like $5 a pencil, and then I mark it off a little bit. That would be like $50. Something like the Lincoln technique, it's probably going to be about $75 for 12 pencils.
$75 for 12 for the Lincoln technique?
Yeah, I mean, well, okay. Dixon, actually, that's a bad example. If someone's asking me to do Dixon, that's going to be a lot cheaper. Blackwing, because listen, my clients don't want Dixon pencils. Right?
No. Why would they?
No, they're using Blackwings, right? Woo! I mean, this box of pencils right here. This is 12 pencils. This costs $35.
What's going on with the erasers on those? They look like little paintbrushes.
So these are actually adjustable erasers. So you see that?
Wow. Okay. Now
so
that's
that
something.
way, and then they're replaceable. So like,
now would you not just say that's technology?
Well, yeah, it's technology. Absolutely.
But
I'm not an eraser expert. I'm a pencil expert.
Fair. I see. Fair.
And also, Blackwings have a massive historical following. These actually they disappeared for a while because the original company that manufactured them went under, and then they were recently picked back up. Forgive me because I'm kind of forgetting who picked them up, but it was in 2010 that they brought back up. I mean, these were like the pencils. John Steinbeck would write his books with Blackwings. I mean, because they were Palomino at one point. That's what they were called, Palomino Blackwings, which you can still get. Actually, there's a website called Brand Name Pencils, which is where I get a lot of my pencils from, and you can find like these really old, wonderful pencils, and those ones will typically cost a lot more. But yeah, so like if someone wanted me to sharpen Blackwing's Lincoln Technique, I'm going to charge them $75 for that, which I don't actually think is too bad of a deal.
No, I mean, you're the guy for it. You get to set the price if they're going to pay it.
I mean, in
LA prices too. I imagine it's
it's Los Angeles is expensive. So like in my videos, the pencils that you see me sharpen aren't necessarily, and those pencils, I'm going relatively quick with those pencils so I can use them for a video. When a client is actually paying me to do it, I could spend up to, a half hour. I mean, if I'm doing the Washington technique, sometimes, I'm not going to lie to you, those pencils will take me 45 minutes to an hour. I mean, it is just...
What is the Washington technique?
Oh, I wish I had that pencil on me right now. So the Washington technique is the video or the pencil where you kind of like create like this prong, this like 3-prong. It's called the Washington technique because, of course, the common knowledge is that Washington had teeth made out of wood. Of course, that's not necessarily entirely true. He did have some wooden teeth. And so this like 3 kind of like pronged like 3 wooden teeth essentially around the lead. And what that allowed them to do, because back when they were using the pencils and specifically using this technique, the graphite was a little bit weaker. And so they would snap easier. So those 3 teeth would make it so they could push down harder without worrying about snapping the pencil. Which is why the Washington technique is not seen too often nowadays. I mean, I don't know if any of you in chat have walked by someone and seen them with the Washington technique. If you have, you know that person is definitely a connoisseur of artesian pencil sharpening. That video, the Washington technique video, I think I posted 2 weeks ago. That one's at like 1.2 million views right now, I think, or maybe even more.
I haven't seen that. I need to see that one.
Yeah,
that sounds complicated.
Check out that one.
I'll show it to chat. You said 45 minutes per pencil. That is...
It's because the Washington technique is so easy to mess up.
Right.
And like, that's the thing. Even though I've been doing this for a very long time, I still make mistakes. Mistakes. And the Washington technique, if you just slip with the razor just a tiny bit, you're going to cut off one of those prongs, one of those teeth, and it's going to ruin the entire pencil. And you absolutely don't want to do that. I tried recording the Washington technique like 4 different times before I actually made a video, before I actually had a video of me doing it correctly, because I keep messing it up.
Right.
Part of that is because I just, and I know I mentioned this to you guys, I just went through pacemaker surgery, so I'm still like kind of getting used to using my arms again, because I wasn't really supposed to move my left arm for a while. But
are you doing better now?
With sparing everyone the information, yes, I'm 28 years old and I have a pacemaker, and that is not fun. I'll tell you that. Not too happy about that. It was not something I knew was going to happen, but it happened, and I'm better, and I'm excited because I get to keep making these videos, and I just hit 100,000 followers on TikTok, which is mind-boggling to me, and I'm here right now doing this interview, which I never imagined in a million years would happen to someone like me who just really enjoys sharpening pencils.
It's no small feat, especially sharpening pencils, having that many people wanting to be involved. You've kind of captured an audience here in this whole phenomenon, and it all comes back to you just sitting there doing what you enjoy doing. Does it bother you at all that even now at this point in the interview, my chat could not be more split on if you're serious?
No, it doesn't. I mean, it doesn't bother me. I mean, guys, it's real. It's real. If you don't think it's real, that's fine. We all have different belief systems. We all think different things are real. I mean, I remember growing up when I thought Santa Claus was real and I found out he wasn't. And that broke me. And, some people still, I'm sorry in chat if you still believe in Santa Claus. And to you, you might have a different belief system. Is real.
Is this akin to believing? Is believing you akin to believing in Santa Claus?
No, absolutely not. I'm just using that as an example of
fair. I don't want to keep you for too much longer, but and if not, it's okay. Would I be able to right now in this moment become at least a one-time client?
Yeah, you want me to sharpen a pencil for you?
Well, I mean, you said it. I don't want to pressure you, but I would love to see a live sharpening.
Wubby, this is great practice because I'm going to be starting to do live streams, and to be clear, you are all going to be the first people to ever watch me sharpening a pencil live.
Holy shit!
And it's very nerve wracking. Like, it's very, very nerve wracking to have this. I don't know how many people are watching. I specifically kept it away from Twitch. That way I wouldn't see how many people were watching.
Well, you're doing fine.
And appreciate it.
Yeah. If are you comfortable trying it? I don't want you to feel like because I asked you, there's like pressure now. It's up to you, man. If you say no, it's all good.
And I'll be honest with you. I have another really big creator that's been asking me to sharpen a pencil for him. So I think.
Is this like your test run then?
You know, yeah. Don't tell him. What's his name? It's something. I don't know. It's like something. It's weird. It's like something goon. Wendigoon. Yeah, Wendigoon. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
So he reached out to me and he wants me to sharpen a pencil. It's actually cool. I don't have it here. It's a pencil from JFK's presidential campaign. I'm so excited about that.
Really? And you're now on, or he's on your client list now. Is he doing a video on this, or is it just a private?
I don't know.
thing?
I don't know. His team reached out to me. They're like, "Hey, Wendigoon saw your videos. He would really like, artisanally sharpened pencil. Is there anything that you think you could do?" And I was like, "We've got the perfect thing. I've got this pencil from JFK's presidential campaign. Because I watched his videos and I saw that he does a lot of that kind of stuff.
Right.
I was like, let's do this. So, yes, you're the test run. Don't take it, don't find offense with that.
I would never. I know you're here. We're doing this live. That's a huge deal.
Wonderful. Since you are the client, which pencil would you like me to? I've got Blackwing mats here. I've got 602s. I've got Mitsubishi 9850s. I've got some High Uni. I've got some Tombow.
Well, okay.
Do you have a preference?
I'll tell you what I'm looking for. I would be honored to get a Lincoln Technique live, if you can. Now,
okay, let's see.
what pencil can handle that kind of graphite exposure?
These pencils are all going to be pretty good. I would never sharpen a Dixon pencil using the Lincoln Technique live. Just in general, I think using the Lincoln Technique on a Dixon pencil is a waste. Just sharpen that thing with a Conte and call it a day.
Right. Of course, the Conte.
So honestly, I mean, listen. You're the streamer. I feel like I want to give you, the best possible pencil. Let's do a Blackwing 602 or a Blackwing matte.
Oh.
These are typically a softer type pencil. These are equivalent to a number 2 pencil that you would see every day.
Chat's saying matte. Is there a reason between the two?
So these are softer pencils, and what I mean by that is like the lead itself is softer. I mean, we could go into like the whole HB scale. The scale is like hardness to blackness. The blacker the pencil, the softer the lead is going to be. And that just mainly that's like artists are using like very, very soft pencils to kind of create the shades that they want. You're also going to get a really nice kind of smooth draw, or like, the look of when you write with it is going to look really nice and smooth and feel smooth. If you've never used a soft pencil or a pencil that's softer than a number 2 pencil, I mean, the Blackwing matte is, you're never going to go back. I'm going to be honest with you.
Okay. So would you recommend that over the 602?
Yeah. I mean, let's do the matte. I think you're going to love it.
Now I'm honored. I'm honored by this. Now, while you get set up here, I have a question for you about the glove. The glove was a sticking point for me.
Yeah.
And my chat and I noticed that you use the blade in your right hand and you hold the pencil in your left hand, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
It might be mirrored, but regardless, everyone believes you're putting the glove on the wrong hand.
Yeah, and to everyone who says that, I really encourage that you sharpen a pencil with 2 gloves on, or at least try to do that. I mean, that is impossible.
To at least represent what they're saying properly, they're saying, why not put the glove on the other hand?
See the hand to pencil contact that I've got here? I have full control of that pencil, right?
Correct.
I can twist it. I can do whatever I want with it. If I put this on there, okay?
It's on.
How much of this pencil am I actually feeling?
None.
None.
Done.
That's an issue, right? And so, like, yes, everyone is correct. Hypothetically, I should have 2 gloves on, okay? Especially because I have heart issues. I'm on blood thinners, and so if I get nicked,
it's over.
It's gonna be bad. It's bad. I have nurses and that's also like one of my videos when you hear like a ticking, it's because I have an artificial valve in, and that's what that ticking is, and I wish I was better with editing software and could get rid of it. I apologize. But like I have people who are in my comments, they're like, "Oh my gosh, you have an artificial valve, you're on blood thinners, and you're using a blade without a glove." I'm like, yeah, we like to live on the edge as artisan pencil sharpeners.
That's a good slogan. Okay, so what you're saying is this is the best way to do it while still maintaining safety.
Ideally, I'd be using two. And the thing that really gets me, I find funny, is people are like, "Oh, you would never cut your right hand." Well, when I'm sharpening with the graphite, I won't see that. I like have the razor blade like pushed into my skin, like into the glove. So like this is definitely a mandatory thing to have. And also, I apologize. The glare is coming into this, or the
no, you're fine. I think we all just want you to be careful.
All right, so we're doing the Lincoln technique. Let's do this. Again, first time I've ever sharpened a pencil live. Okay, so when we're doing the Lincoln technique, what I always recommend for my early pencil sharpeners, if you guys are watching this, you want to get into the art, which a lot of people have been doing now. I mean, I've seen on my Discord server, a lot of people have been joining in and doing their pencil for the first time. You want to find kind of the spot that you're going to start and kind of create like a circle around. And that's a really bad example of that because I don't typically do this because, you
don't need to
do it. Yeah, I don't need to. But like kind of create a space for you to kind of start sharpening. And then again, guys, the Lincoln technique, this is going to take me a little while. So, bear with me.
Oh, how long does a Lincoln technique take normally?
Typically, the Lincoln technique is going to take me 20 minutes.
Oh, fuck. Okay. Still better than the Washington technique.
Oh, yeah, good. The Washington technique's a pain in my ass.
So right now are we trying to get to the exposed graphite?
It's like a bottle of whiskey in a way. Where like you want to enjoy it, but you don't want to get to the bottom of that bottle too fast.
So is this enjoyable for you right now? Like, are you getting something out of this
right now? And like, it's, the crown is a little, we call this bit down here the crown because it looks like a crown when you're done with it. The crown's a little wonky. Again, this is my first time doing this live, so I am a little nervous. So
judgment-free zone.
I appreciate it. But yeah, this is very calming for me. I mean, I can't tell you how many pencils I sharpen. I get home and I sharpen, and like that aren't even for clients or a video. I just go.
They're just for you.
Right, yeah, let's just sharpen some pencils. So
what do you use your pencils for that you because you said you were bad at art or didn't really do art in high school. Do you use your pencils for anything?
Writing. I do like to write, whether it's, stories or poetry and stuff like that.
Right. So you're all handwritten on that.
Yeah. I do. The other thing is I do enjoy pens. A lot of people will be like, "Oh, do you hate pens?" No, pens are really nice. I have some pens I really enjoy, but there's a time and place for pens. Right. And there's a time and place for pencils. And like, if I'm not doing something that has to be like 100% kept for other people, I'm pretty much using a pencil. The thing about pens is that they're permanent, which is really nice if you're signing a document, right? Because if you're signing a document, you got to use a pen. They don't even allow pencils, which I think is a little upsetting. But okay, so I do want to show. Yeah. So you might have seen like the razor blade is kind of like struggling a little bit. Just nick that. That's not good. The razor blade is struggling a little bit. So it will happen a lot of times with so that side is hard to get through and this side isn't. What will happen a lot of times is that the two woods will not necessarily be agreeable and they'll be like different, whether it's of age, whether it's the wood itself is a little bit harder, and so
the wood is of age.
Yeah. So like older wood tends to be harder.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
So you want a young wood?
Absolutely, the young wood's the way to go.
Is there such a thing as a wood being too young?
Yeah. I mean, if you've got a wood that it's just like a little baby tree, that wood's no good. You won't even make a pencil with that kind of wood because it's not thick enough. So you'll see what I'm doing here, and I've exposed the graphite a little too soon on this side. That's okay. You'll see what I'm doing here is kind of shaving away bit by bit of the pencil, trying to make it so the graphite is not exposed until the very end. What happens if you go kind of too hard into your cut angle and you expose that graphite too soon is that well, you're going to have a This part of the pencil, this wood right here, is going to be like really short and stocky and look really strange.
Mm-hmm.
You know, in fact, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think I went low enough on my initial cut with this one, but we're going to.
Are you at a point where you're in too deep and you just have to try to salvage it?
Yeah,
or...
I mean, it's you know, it's fine. You know, this isn't Wendigoon, so I'm not too worried. But yeah, I mean,
okay.
Yeah. You know, if this was a client, I would probably restart. Actually, you know what? No, this is coming out pretty well.
Okay.
See, this is what happens when I'm live and I'm thinking out loud. And these are all the things that are happening in my head while I'm sharpening. There's actually, and this is why I say there's something sincere about David Rees' book, is there's actually a chapter about anxieties, the mental anxieties that happen when you're sharpening a pencil. And there's literally a segment in there when they talk about the live pencil sharpening experience. And so before today, I could not exactly relate to what he was saying, but now I can. And I'll tell you what, this is, you know,
you feel the pressure now.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's calming when you're alone, but not so much in front of everyone. You're doing great. It looks great.
Yeah.
It looks like a very serious thing you're doing.
Thank you. Yeah, and like this is like the thing that I would say separates like a beginning sharpener from like, oh god, this is like from a beginner to, you know, someone like me who's been doing this for so long, is like a lot of people are going to worry about like how they go, oh, I need to go faster. I need to do this. The thing that separates artisanally sharpened pencils from regular pencils is the fact that they, you know, well, they take a while and they're handcrafted, and you're not going to go and, you know, you see like those chainsaw sculptures, they don't make those instantly, right? That takes a lot of time.
No.
It's the same thing with these pencils. Yeah, Jesus.
I was watching one of your videos in preparation for this, and you were talking about how you sharpened a pencil for someone who reached out whose grandfather passed away.
Yeah.
And how apparently they said you sharpening pencils reminded them of their late grandfather.
Yeah, I've actually got, strangely enough, I've gotten a lot of those types of.
Really?
I've gotten a lot of those types of things. That person specifically asked me, and I think I have him. He specifically asked for like a certain brand of pencils, and he was like, "Yeah, this my grandpa recently passed away, and this is how he used to sharpen the pencils. And he always used, I think it was the Faber-Castell 9000. I think is what he would do. It was like 2B, I think is what he said. And he's like, hey, would you be able to, you know, sharpen this pencil for me? And I'm like, yeah, absolutely. And that's another part of like the content that I'm creating. So at this point, oh god, I'm sorry, I completely jacked this thing up. The nerves are getting to me. But at this point, we've reached we've gotten the graphite kind of on its own. We've exposed the graphite fully, and now we're going to start kind of, you know, shaving away at the graphite. This is also where David Rees and I massively differ. He will use sandpaper to sharpen the lead. Don't get me started on that. I think that's lazy. I also think that it's it gives you a complete lack of control when it comes to sharpening that pencil. Okay, so we'll just kind of go.
So you're trying to bring the end to a nice point here.
Yeah, so that's the thing. Like, people go, why would you go the Lincoln technique? Actually, you said this in your video. Like, why would anyone use the Lincoln technique? Well, the Lincoln technique so essentially think of this. The longer head that you have, the longer piece of graphite you have on your pencil, the sharper you can get it, right? If we have this really short, stubby pencil, you can't get a sharp head. You can't get a sharp point.
Right.
If you have a longer pencil or a longer head, you're able to get a much sharper point. So that's why we use the Lincoln technique, to get that sharper point. A lot of artists really enjoy the Lincoln technique because it allows them to create these really fine, what is that called? Sketches, you know, the strokes. That's what, like strokes with their pencil.
Right.
So that's like the main reason why someone would use the Lincoln technique. I mean, and like your everyday life, honestly, the Lincoln technique is not going to be too practical for you because, as a lot of people mentioned in all of my videos, you have to resharpen the Lincoln technique quite often because it does wear down.
It's a pencil
pretty fast. Yeah.
What, are you super out on mechanical pencils? Even just when you're chilling at home, no camera, no one will know. You're jotting down notes, maybe some poetry.
Listen, my whole thing, and this is kind of what we were talking about when it comes to like that, young man who like messaged me about his grandpa. I
God
very
rest his
much
soul, by the way.
Yeah, I very much try to be a positive person, and I really think that like my goal in the end is to use my channel for positivity. Most of my viewership, which is very surprising to me, is young men. Like it's like literally like 73% of my demographics are young men. And for me, when they're watching my videos, that means they're not watching an Andrew Tate video, which is like a huge wonderful thing, because not to slam him, but also I want to slam him a little bit. You guys shouldn't watch his videos. He's not a good person. And so spreading positivity, I think, is a really important thing. And I kind of lost my train of thought because I'm focusing on this graphite so much.
You're saying by putting this out, you're hoping that it'll shape the minds of the young men on TikTok as opposed to them just getting fed. Yeah, I can see that. I mean, yeah, I've definitely seen a lot less Andrew Tate and a lot more of you.
Well, that's good. Also, I'm glad that your algorithm is not purely Andrew Tate, because a little bit about you. No, I'm kidding. So as you can kind of see, this and this is where it takes a long time, is like specifically with the graphite.
Yeah.
Sorry, you had a question that you asked me, and I kind of lost it.
Yeah. So you sharpen pencils for dead grandparents.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't for him. He just wanted to see the pencil. Yeah, he my videos reminded him of his grandfather, I think, as like entertainers, because Wubby, you're an entertainer, right?
Sure. I mean, yeah.
Our goal is to change people, and then a lot of people think of the whole idea of change, and they go, "Oh, Martin Luther King, or Gandhi," and they're like, these massive change, and that's not what change is. Right? I mean, yes, that is something, obviously those people created massive movements of, that created changes. But I mean, a change is something so slight, and it can be so slight, right? I mean, there are so many people. I saw your Discord channel. I see the chat. Yeah. And people, they come to this community, and they could be having bad days. Who knows? Their grandpa just passed away. And they come and they watch. That's a rough one. Yeah. They come and they watch your stream, or they come and they see a video of this guy sharpening a pencil, and it reminds them of their grandpa. Okay.
Guys, when we went down, I want you to know he turned the camera up and went, "It's all a bit. It's all a joke."
Hey, everyone. I saw your chat. Big Pencil, they have not gotten to me yet. Okay, so don't worry about that. Okay. So we are almost done with this pencil. Okay,
it's looking good. I don't know what I believe, but I do believe that's a sharp looking pencil.
And here's the thing, this is because I was nervous. This is the crown right here. This is messed up. This is nothing I would ever send to a client.
Right. Or like a popular like Wendigoon, for example. You wouldn't let that grace his desk.
I would. No, I mean, I feel like he knows things, and I don't want him to, send the people that he knows at me, because I feel like he's, there's a reason why he knows all these conspiracies, right?
He's dangerous, frankly.
Yeah.
Love him, but he is dangerous. I want to try to give my closing thoughts on the pencil guy before I go down again. At least if I have to end stream, I can close on that. Hopefully I can say this without it getting interrupted, and if it gets interrupted, then God help us. I want to give my opinion on pencil guy, and I do want to do a final poll. We got on the call, and I felt like I was talking to a regular, nervous, hyper-fixated, particular hobby guy in the best way possible. I loved it. And I'm like, this guy likes to sharpen pencils, and God bless him, he's real. As the conversation went on, there were a few things that really raised my suspicion. I think it's a bit. If he's listening right now, which I don't think he is, but if he is, I want him to know, if it's not a bit, this is in no way meant to be insulting. The last thing I want to be is find a train girl in real life, remember the Spectrum show we watched where she was be like, "You're a liar, you're fake." That's not what I'm saying, right? I don't want to be mean to him. That's the last thing I want to do. There are aspects that are true. He can sharpen a pencil well, which means he does do this. I think there's some things that are true, but it was so genuine. Well, here, let me present my case. There were questions that I needed answers for, and my man was straight up on his politician A game. There was so many like absolute like that didn't answer my question at all, but I don't want to press it, you know what I mean? Where does the Lincoln technique come from? What, like there's this like could it all be true? Maybe? Bro, he was nervous on your live stream. I'm not talking about nervous inconsistencies. I'm talking about, let's take his story at face value. The story is he started this in high school to get a passing grade in his art class because he would sharpen pencils for the people in his high school art class. That's like, okay, you didn't push hard enough. Well, first off, when I started to really lean into it being a bit, I could see people in chat being like, stop being mean, stop being mean. And I'm like, then it would make me doubt myself. I'm like, fuck, am I just like bullying someone with like, you know, maybe on the spectrum or something? But like there was like, okay, let's look at his story and you tell me, and I'm not, without the frills, here's the story. Started pencil sharpening in high school as a way to get a grade in his art class. He used it to pass his art class just by sharpening pencils for everyone around him. Okay, a little odd, but maybe believable. The specific techniques are not online. And his reason for that is because most of this stuff isn't online for various reasons, because they don't like technology. It's not something heavily discussed. Okay, so then where did he get them from? He got these techniques from building connections in the pencil sharpening scene that, again, doesn't exist online, through calling his local libraries, calling local museums. He has some kind of mentor or sensei, whatever you want to call it, that taught him these techniques. That's where I started going, you got a Lincoln technique guy? That's where I'm like, now hold on, bro, not everyone uses the internet. Hold it right there, partner. I know I'm the first one to get told I'm coping in chat, but you are boiling down my speculation to, not everyone has to use the internet, Wubby. You think that's my criticism? You think my concern is he got information offline? Brother, you're not listening. I will say, when we went offline and I was still on the call with him and I was like, hey, the stream's off. Let's talk for a minute. I was like, level with me, man. Is this real? And I want you to know, I got not even slightly a different answer. Not even slight. It was 100% the same things he was saying. The same things he was saying live. It's real. I know it seems unusual. It's real. He just leans into it, I think. So here's where I would put it. Total speculation. Some of it's real. He definitely sharpens pencils. I wouldn't be surprised if he sharpens pencils for friends, people locally. Maybe there's even a small community of people he sharpens pencils for. I think he 100% is leaning into it, though. I think there's a lot of exaggerated stories. I even think, I can't prove this, I believe he's the one naming all of these techniques. I believe I believe the Lincoln technique blew him up, right? And after that, we started seeing more presidential name techniques because it was working. You're saying duh, but you say duh, that means then it is a character, and it is a bit. Because according to him, the Lincoln technique's been around since Abraham Lincoln. I pressed him on the Lincoln technique specifically because it's so absurd. And the explanation was it's from Abraham Lincoln's time. I think that's the beauty of it, is I'm not trying to be like, I know it's not real, get fucked. It's for my own sanity. I'm like curious, but I'm not trying to, that's why there's no gotcha. I wasn't trying to go in. Now here's the one thing that I want to bring note of. I don't even know if I should speculate on it publicly because I want to respect him, but I want to say it because I feel like I should. The entire Wendigoon thing, the Sydney Sweeney thing, these are jokes that somebody doing a bit would make. He made a joke at one point that another streamer or, you know, like Peanut would make towards me, which was, he kept implying like, I don't care about this one because you're no Wendigoon. He kept making those types of jokes, right? Now, either that is someone who, those are, how do I word this carefully? If it wasn't a joke, he lacks entire levels of social awareness because it was objectively rude, right? I find it funny because I do think he's playing a character. But if it's not a character, then it was just like a weird out of nowhere insult. Like, I don't give a fuck about this. You're not Wendigoon, so why would I care, right? The jokes he started making at my expense about Wendigoon were very out of left field. And I'm like, oh, is he kind of leaving breadcrumbs? I don't know, bro, but isn't that what's so fascinating about it all? He's got me by the balls, and I'm going to keep watching, and goddamn it, so should you.